Retrospective. In agile development methodology, a retrospective is a meeting that is held after a milestone, such as the completion of a sprint, to note what went well, review what could have been better, and to discuss possible improvements.
I'm David Walker, and here we are on the first edition of Retro Notes. I have with me Bradley Hicken, Adam Costenbader, and Rusty Devine, and we're going to do a quick retro of Nebraska Code Camp 2015.
Great, thanks David. All right, I'm going to put up here on the wall. So for retro, we always talk about what went well and what could have been better. And then from those what could have been better, we talk about what could we do to improve it next time. So 4 of us are actually speakers at this conference, so that gives us maybe a different perspective than some of the attendees. We were collaborating with Adam and Ken, the leaders of the conference, beforehand to get it all set up. But let me go ahead and open it up. Let's list out some of the things you guys liked. What did you guys like about the conference? What was good?
The technologies of the facility were good.
Yeah, so it was at a new place this year. I would agree with that. I just didn't like SEC as much. I like getting out of that place and into somewhere more techy. That's good.
I'd like that as well.
Yeah.
I think we all agree on that one.
That's a big one. Cool.
It's probably surprise everyone, but I like the food.
Okay. Was that the catering or was it
It was the catering, yeah.
Okay, catering. It's good. Good.
I didn't hear a whole lot of people not having what they needed, like for instance the speakers for getting attached to projectors or getting power that they needed.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was good.
The rooms were all set up pretty good.
Yeah.
Caveat there, I'm sure will come later with the auditorium, but we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Do we need some more tape?
Yeah, I might get another piece of tape over there. Great. Thanks, David.
Sure.
Well, David's taking that. I'll just say that, last year there was a problem with a controversy over not having enough female speakers, but this year we had several. I didn't count, but that was great.
I just wanted to add to that. I thought that the female speakers were very high quality, the ones that we had.
Hi, I'm Kathy Kellenberger, and I am a SQL Server consultant, and I really like the conference because most of the things I go to, it's all SQL Server people, so I really enjoyed getting to talk to developers, and I want to thank them for coming to my sessions.
My name's Sarah Withy. I'm a computer science student at the University of Missouri, Kansas City. I came here today because I'm a speaker, but I really liked being able to meet a lot of people I've met online via Twitter and some chat rooms I've been involved with. It's been really fun and great to just network with more really awesome developers in town.
Cool. All right, what else?
I asked Adam and Ken what the numbers of attendees were, and they said that there was about 100 more this year, so it's good to see growth. So it's good to see that, my good is that it's growing every year.
Yeah, that's great. This was the first year they switched it to the Code Conference from the Code Camp, so they started charging money for the event. But it seems like people still wanted to come, so that's great.
There's plenty of parking.
Yeah.
That was a good thing.
I asked a couple people at the after party what they liked, and so I had a couple of those.
Okay, sure.
One person said it was very organized.
My name is Lindsay Paget. I'm from Keyhole Software in Kansas City. I thought the event was very well organized. Everybody did a great job putting information out there. Everybody knows where to go and what time things start, and great job on that.
They said that people were really nice.
And this is my first Nebraska Code Camp, but the people seem really nice. They seem really interested and engaged. I gave 2 talks today, and the people had really good questions. They really seemed into what I was talking about, so that was good. They were appreciative and really seemed to enjoy being there, so that was good. I enjoyed that.
Oh, that's Lincoln, man. Lincoln is a nice town.
That was one that made me feel really good.
Okay.
And one of the speakers pointed out that the attendees in his session were very knowledgeable.
Okay.
I think another good for me too is that not all the talks were necessarily technology driven, but some of them were more people skills that you don't normally get other places.
Yeah, okay. Soft skills kind of thing?
Yep.
I think we got a lot of people from, well, it was both good that we had a lot of local people that got to come, and a lot of people were coming in from out of our region. So good mix of, supporting the local community.
Having Mads Christensen, Pete Brown, and the .NET Rocks guys was
.NET Rocks was
nice.
great. I think everyone really enjoyed that. That was really cool to see them. I didn't see Saturday, well, I saw Pete give the same kind of keynote at HTC, but Richard Campbell's keynote on Friday was really, really interesting, so I thought he did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anything else on the goods?
I think we have a pretty good list.
Mm-hmm. I did have one more. I took some notes. I'll just write it right here. I went around and talked to the sponsors, and I thought they were pretty interesting. They all had a good story to tell.
Yeah, and there were quite a few of them.
With nice giveaways
Yeah.
that I didn't get.
Yeah.
What I really like is all the networking that kind of goes on. So as a sponsor, it was really nice to get to know a lot of new faces, as well as see a lot of old faces that I know from a recruiting firm. It's kind of nice to see that. So I would say that the amount of people that showed up is pretty great. So that's what I like most about it.
So we got all of our goods up here. I think there were even more goods, but this is a pretty good list of goods. So let's talk about what are some of the things they could maybe do better next year.
One of the first things that comes to my mind is kind of the stack up of different events. We had the other conference that was in the same facility as us, as well as the event just down the road that everybody had to drive through and go through their, parking keepers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that event stack up kind of confused both groups that were there. Because I remember the gamer group that were coming in, they were like, where am I supposed to be going here? So maybe another could have been better was that things could have been labeled better.
Yeah, some signage.
I know some of the rooms that I were in didn't have decent signs on them to the point where you didn't even really know that there was a room back in that corner. So
I'd say for the parking and facility and inside, right? So
yeah.
Yeah, with the event stack up, one of my biggest thought was when I drove in, I thought I was gonna have to pay $5 to park.
Yeah, so did I.
luckily, the car in front of me was like code camp, and so I was like, oh, okay, you just tell them code, yeah, because I thought I was going to too. But
Yeah.
that's good. All right, what else? What could be better?
The food was on Thursday that they had the plated meal. There wasn't, I thought the plated meal was a little bit awkward. And then the fact that there was no choice, no vegetarian or vegan option. That there were some Hindu visitors and some Jewish, and there, I think there were even some Catholic people who were giving up meat, and there weren't options for them.
So I don't remember. I wasn't. Oh yeah, I didn't eat that day. So what did people do with their plates? Did they go to the auditorium, or was there a place for people to sit?
All the plates were set down in the cafeteria, and you just found a seat and sat there and ate that food.
So what was the could be better? So there's some people that felt left out.
Okay, well there was no people were left out. There was no vegan, vegetarian, or even a chicken option.
Since we're talking about things like that, let's talk about the trash can situation.
That
there
was
was
not
nearly enough trash cans, and that may not necessarily be the conference's fault, but that might be some feedback that can be given to the facility.
Yeah, none of the rooms seem to have any of them.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to find them in the hallway. And I did well, you know, to give a good on that, I did like that there were options for recycling and for you know, food refuse versus styrofoam or something like that. But I don't think the signage was great on those. I saw that a lot of things were getting mixed together that wasn't recycling or.
Yeah, I asked on Twitter for some feedback, and I didn't get very much. Trash cans was the only one they mentioned, and
that was a big one.
Yeah.
I noticed there weren't clocks in the auditorium or any of the speakers' rooms, and that just felt like, you know, again, the facility just wasn't finished, it seemed.
Yeah. That was a big one. I had to set up the clock on my phone so I would know what time it was. And, you know, I know other people had different solutions for that. But.
Yeah, from an aside part, you know, as a attendee for a session, I don't care as much as long as the leader or the speaker is saying, all right, we're starting, we're stopping. All right, cool, I know I'm here and I can leave. But as a speaker, having to look down at my phone, you know, disengages me from the crowd, but looking up through them at the clock behind them is a little more discreet and easier to get away with.
I had to actually kick the guy in my session before me out because he was still talking 10 minutes into the break.
Yeah, so that it could be better for you?
Yeah, and I don't know necessarily how, you know, really even phrase that, you know, speakers weren't paying attention to the time, but I mean, that's really on the speaker to do that, so.
Yeah.
I noticed there was no UNL technology helpers. You know, at some conferences you have the people running around, they're just helping. Did you guys see any? I didn't see any.
I did.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, but they were very discreet. So either they did an extremely good job or they were only seldom there. So I don't know if it's a really, really good or if possible it could be better.
So that's questionable. I'm not sure about that.
I know I had no trouble getting hooked up. You know, had all the right connectors.
When we had a lot of problems in the auditorium, though, we had some of these problems on Thursday during the workshops. Weren't as bad as Friday. But Friday, I felt like we were on our own. We had a couple of things that just, the talks could have been much better. The keynote, Matt's talk, Mads ended up giving his presentation back in the projector room where no one could even see him. That caused some serious problems. Again, this is all under facility stuff where It's hard to have much control over what's going on there, but
Mhm.
it was definitely
Could be better.
I thought that there could have been more volunteers. They could have asked for volunteers earlier,
Oh, yeah.
and they could have had a volunteer coordinator, maybe even who was a volunteer themselves, so that they could just get people where they needed to be easier. The speaker room on Saturday didn't have water or drinks or ice,
So
and some.
solving it here. So the problem was like check-in. The line was backed up. That was
Mhm.
could have been better. And what else were some specific problems for this?
The speaker room on Saturday didn't have any drinks in it. It had,
Oh yeah.
when I gave my talk, I'm a little dry anyway in my presentation, and when I don't have anything to drink, it's just a little bit drier.
Mhm.
Yeah, there wasn't even like back up here. There was like no vending machines.
Yeah. I think there was one vending machine, but it was hidden somewhere that only a few people ever found.
I was gonna say I heard a rumor of one.
Yeah.
Maybe they needed a map to the
But
vending
it was,
machine.
yeah. Now, granted, it's another facility thing, and that's possible. Could be there in the future. Yeah, another could be better. That kind of falls in the same vein of what you were saying, David, of asking. They could have asked a little bit earlier for volunteers.
Mhm.
So I feel like the coordinators. There's just two of them, right? There's Ken and Adam, and I say this with thinking in the fact that I would say almost everybody would say that this was a huge success. It was a very good conference, but to take this conference, which is growing and growing every year, and yet keep it the two guys, I think that maybe they could find more volunteer help much earlier. Not just volunteer at the conference, but maybe volunteer to help coordinate the conference and get it together.
So did that cause some specific problems? I remember there were some emails where Adam consistently kept saying, "Hey, I dropped the ball on this, and I dropped the ball on that." So there were like, for instance, the Saturday night speaker. I don't even know if that's a speaker party. Is it just an attendee party?
It was a speaker party.
Speaker
but,
party.
It was kind of arranged at the last minute
Right.
meeting Saturday afternoon. I'm gonna pause for 1 minute.
Yep. Restart it.
Should see if there's a hack for that thing.
Probably is, but I don't know.
Yeah, so the speaker party, that was the last minute thing. This maybe goes to a 7, different could be better, but I feel like it could have been better for Adam and Ken as well. I feel like, like you mentioned, Adam had mentioned a couple times that, hey, this fell to the wayside.
Yeah, they felt overwhelmed, it seemed like.
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of my interpretation. They had a lot that they were working with, and they definitely felt it.
Maybe some of that goes back to also having those two events stacked right on top of each other too, because that kind of split. I'm sure it split Ken's attention, another place too. So
one thing I wanted to bring up was the giving away Saturday for free at the last minute made me and probably other speakers feel upset. Like, what does that mean? So we're charging $50 for Thursday, $150 for Friday, and then Saturday's free, but people that bought tickets thought they were buying tickets for all 3 days. I think it potentially upset a lot of the attendees. I don't know. Me, yeah, but I don't know about other people. So I thought that was a little, how would you describe it, So,
I will say their website did say in the FAQ for it that Saturday would remain free, but it wasn't explicit.
Yeah.
You had to search for it.
How did you sign up for a Saturday only ticket? Was there a spot on the website to do just that?
I don't know.
They didn't open those up until the week before, I believe. I think it was
That seems right.
something that they published, I think, within the last week before the event.
And I think they sold out of those decently quick. And then even were able to expand and have a few more people be able to get those tickets.
Which reminds me of something else. There were some of the rooms were full and overflowing. So there were some sessions I know that I couldn't attend because the room was full.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that happens a lot too. But I've kind of run out of room. So, do you guys want? Is there any big one that you still want to get in here, and I can kind of squeeze it in, or should we move on?
I feel like we're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and move on.
All right.
Got the bad news.
What?
So, we're supposed to be at a meeting.
I'm Brent Stewart with Alien Arc Technologies. I just wanted to say that everybody here has been great. Whenever you need anything, they're willing to help you out. All the attendees have been very receptive of everything, and I just want to thank everyone for that.
Okay, so we got all of our could be betters done, and Brad had to take off. He had a meeting to go to, so we're going to try and finish this up, the three of us, for improvements. So now, for the improvements, I number these could be betters, and we come back and we talk about each one of these and say, hey, okay, so we identified something that maybe could have been better. How could we have made that better? How can we make that better next time? So I'll put a 1 here to correspond to this one. So how can we make that event stack up better next time?
Well, the obvious way is to not have other events at the same time that may or may not be realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is to kind of segment the campus a little bit, so your entrance for one event is here and your entrance for another event is in a different part of the campus.
Yeah.
That's good.
It would be nice to have a dedicated entrance. It's signed, that might be coming up next.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of applies to the first two, doesn't it?
Yeah. And, you know, I'm certain they had no control over the event going on at the Devani Center. You know, there's nothing that they can do. That's out of their hands. But again, I think this would help that.
Yeah. I wonder, I mean, I didn't really mind the gamers there, but it made me wonder, okay, we paid for this conference. Are the gamers just coming in and using our facility on our dime? I don't know. Maybe they're not. Maybe they are. It's just that question was there. So
Yeah.
maybe clear communication around how that is, or maybe maybe they don't have it that weekend. It sounded like Adam wasn't very happy with them having it that weekend either. So I'll make sure. Is that too bold saying don't do the gamers the same weekend?
Well,
It could be better.
this is just a recommendation.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah, that's a recommendation. They could also have better or more clear communication about, hey, attendees, FYI, there are going to be other people attending different events here, and this is how you can tell that they're attending the other event, or these are the areas where the other event's going to be going. You're not restricted to go there, but when they first got there, I started seeing all this game stuff going up and stuff for sale, and I was like, that's cool. I thought that was for the event, though. I thought that was for the conference, and not that I don't, not that I mind contributing to their sales. That's totally fine, but I was confused, and better communication could have helped that.
Yeah, it's not that, I thought maybe there'd be some cross-pollination there. That's great. I mean, I kind of like that idea. Okay, get these two groups together, maybe they'll see something they like and kind of, now I like these board games. But just better communication or organization there. Okay, let's move on. Number 2. signage for parking facility and rooms inside. So we talked a little bit about, entrance for parking here, but for inside, felt like the sponsors' names on the rooms would have been nice.
Yeah, I would have liked that. And I'm sure the sponsors would have liked that.
I know when I walked in the first time, I was like, "Where's the auditorium?" It was really hard to figure out. I see a map, but I can't.
Yeah, I felt like I had a hard time orienting myself to the map that we were given as well. I had it backwards, and so when I first got there, I went in and went to the opposite side for the auditorium and saw that they were still doing construction there.
Uh-oh. If they're still doing construction,
yeah,
this event may be delayed.
Yeah.
I thought I saw some signs, and I don't know if they were there the whole time or if they added them, but the ones I saw were 8.5 by 11. They weren't very obvious. So yeah, they did point you in the right direction. They weren't very blatant about it. So, but somebody was trying, but I thought that a little bigger and a little bolder would have been good.
Yeah.
Or that could have been another place where having more volunteers milling around could help.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I'm a volunteer. Ask me a question, and I can point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
I like that too. Okay, 3.
Well, this one came up at the conference, so I think that the organizers are very aware of this one, and we'll have everything in much better shape next year. Obviously, you just put some other options out there. Maybe let people specify ahead of time that they have special dietary restrictions.
So when you reserve tickets, talk. I honestly didn't even know there was lunch on Thursday, which was another thing.
Yeah.
I went out and got Subway.
That's true.
I had no idea.
Yep, same thing for me.
And so that's something where if you were filling out your form and it made you specify your food requirements or preferences or whatever, you would deduce that the food was actually going to be there. So that would help with the communication that you missed out on. So.
Mm-hmm. I did think of another could be better that I would squash in there really quick. As a speaker, one of the things that I really would have liked was to be able to specify the level of my talk. Oh, yeah. So whether it's a beginner, intermediate, or an advanced talk, I think that would have, as a speaker, helped me to make sure that I had the appropriate crowd, but also as an attendee, helped me to discern which talks I wanted to go to.
So this facility one.
Yeah.
I do think that like projector problems is something that the facility seems like they're concerned about. So I think that they'll be making an effort to keep those from happening in the future since they're having a lot of events there. But I think that giving some of this feedback back to them, we could use some more trash cans, we could use clocks.
Yeah.
They may know that or they may not realize that yet, and that might help them to put that in their priority list of the facility is done when we have clocks or trash cans or.
I like that.
Thanks for the facility. Here's what could have made it more awesome.
Yeah.
Because the facility was
nice.
good.
It was good. Yeah. We talked. Actually, I forgot. A couple of people tripped on stairs in the auditorium.
Yeah.
Not sure the fix for that.
Yeah, I mean, either they have rails. It could just be, a thing that's there.
It seems like there's a lip, so maybe they can come in. I mean, if there's people tripping, you might want to come in and take that molding off, whatever's causing people to catch their heels on it or whatever. So, but yeah, I think giving feedback to the facility is probably the best improvement we could expect there. 5, check-in was backed up. No refreshments in speaker hall. So we started talking about the solution here. Put a 5 on this one. check-in was backed up. That was definitely a problem. I would say when I went to HDC last year, the AIM took it over, and when you walked in the door, there was like 6 tables, and it was like, A through D, whatever. You just came in, picked up your stuff, and went. Didn't talk to anyone, and it was smooth. I was so happy. I doubt anyone was coming in to impersonate anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be one potential improvement.
Yep.
That sounds good.
Remove the human element.
The only other idea I had would be faster check-in, but with your solutions, you don't need check-in at all. But a barcode-based check-in, I don't know if they had what they had, but with more volunteers.
Yeah.
I mean, you need, for an event like that, you need more than 2 people checking in. Well, that's all I ever saw. I don't know what the most they had was, but I only ever saw 2 people checking in.
Yeah. And doing it the way that, Rusty mentioned that HTC did at AIM, that's going to be another thing that would require volunteers. I mean, 2 people trying to put packets together for 400 some people, that's a lot. So having volunteers helping beforehand would be super.
5A, yeah. More volunteers.
Or maybe even lean on the facility to help with this as well, with the refreshments.
This would be great if we could use this to get younger people in high school or even junior or middle school. Come help, volunteer, just get immersed in this culture, see what it's like. Some of the talks might be over your head, but you can come help out, meet some people, see what it's like. Maybe you'll want a career.
Check the cameras real quick.
Good call.
So 6, Saturday night speaker party, reservations, maybe this is that too.
Yeah, good.
I think so. I think that Adam, I felt like he was overwhelmed. This was not his highest priority. And, I guess it says everything. So the Saturday night speaker party wasn't his highest priority. It was something he planned to do, but he didn't actually plan the event, because he was working on all these other things. And if he offloaded some of his responsibilities to somebody else, he'd have more time for that. And, I think that Adam really, just my perception, I think he enjoys the speaker events. And I think that...
Yeah, I think he wants to do them. So it'd be a great opportunity for speakers to get together and talk. It's awesome that he's providing the opportunity, but hey, if he's overwhelmed, there's lots of people who can help too. So. All right. Anything else about these 3? We kind of try to capture them all, but maybe do you have any other ideas? All right.
Reach out earlier as well.
Oh yeah.
That was the other thing. Reach out earlier to recruit volunteers.
All right. 8. Giving away Saturday tickets at last. Well, it felt like at the last minute. Felt like a change in contract with the speakers and attendees. So I feel like one of the improvements potentially is to split the 2 conferences up. If you still want to have a code camp, let's do it in the fall. Let's do it some other time. But keep this one. Maybe just do it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or whatever. But I don't know. I just felt like it didn't sit well with me.
Yeah, it felt like a little bit of a devalue to what Code Conference was, which was a bummer because I was excited to see Code Conference grow and be awesome, which it was awesome. But Code Camp and Code Conference, there's definitely differences, and to mash them up felt like a devalue to the Code Conference name.
Yeah, I imagine myself as someone who paid full price for the conference, only to find out I could have gone to Saturday for free, and so what I actually paid for was 2 days, and okay, how do I feel about that now?
I wondered because my talk was on Saturday. Yours was on Friday.
Yep.
So I wondered if if Adam was more valuable than me because people had to pay to go to his talk, but
Yeah.
they could go to mine for free.
Yeah, it starts creating these weird feelings that are somewhat irrational, but we have them. It makes us feel negative. So there's negative feelings associated with it.
I will say that for me, it didn't bother me a lot because they were growing from the free code camp into this paid conference. And maybe it just didn't bother me a lot because I didn't spend much time thinking about it. I was pretty busy this whole code conference, but it wasn't one of my big issues.
Mm-hmm.
I did feel like they waited a long time before they opened up registration for Saturday, and I would have felt a little better if they had opened up the Saturday registration a little sooner, just so it was obvious that Saturday is the free day and you don't have to look for it or wait or whatever. You can just sign up for it.
Yeah, that reminds me of could be better that we didn't get up here, but there was no place to put speaker slides. They came up with a solution using GitHub eventually, but it could have been better to actually have a place on your talk to see, how many people are coming to your Thursday workshop and where can you upload more information, more slides, more attached files, stuff like that.
Well, if they had put the GitHub solution in place ahead of time, that's just where I would have put my slides while I was working on them.
Yeah.
So I never got my slides onto the GitHub solution, at least not yet, because it's a whole separate thing for me to do. But if that had been when they announced the conference, like here's our GitHub, I'd have just put my slides on there the whole time I was working with them.
Yeah, so are we in agreement GitHub is kind of a good solution for that? And
Yeah.
if we find use that, just let us know beforehand and put it out there. Okay.
Yeah.
9, could not tell what level the talk was targeting, so it caused confusion. Is this talk going to be over my head or beneath, something that's going to bore me because I know it all? So.
Yeah, I feel like that in previous years they had that, I feel like there was distinction that this is an intermediate talk or there's somehow that I was able to look at the schedule and know that. So I suppose maybe bringing that back, if it was never there and I just made it up in my head, then
it was, I remember too.
Yeah, so letting the speaker be able to specify that, I did mine on Chrome Developer Tools, but what if I was doing really advanced things with Chrome Developer Tools? The people who attended my session, they were not people who I think would have really understood the really deep parts of Google Chrome or the developer tools, because they'd never used them before. And that's fine, but to be able to let them know this is going to be advanced would be a good distinction for them.
I agree.
I think that's great. Wow, look at all that great stuff we have up there. Lots of goods. I think this conference, we all agree it was a great conference. We really appreciate the time they put into it. It was good. But no matter how good something is, we always want to make it better. So hopefully this will be helpful for that. Maybe we'll see a couple things be better.
Sound good?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Rusty.
Yep. Thanks, David. Thanks, Adam.
Yep.
Thanks, Brad.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Brad.
See you next time on Retro Notes.
That's right.
I loved the presentations by Richard and Carl. They should come back every year. Although, could have been better. They really need to do a whiskey tasting panel. Other than that, I think it's the best conference that there is in the United States.